This storyline is building toward one of the most emotional mother-daughter twist days of our lives as told in years, and it all comes down to Rachel Black remembering the truth and speaking 6 devastating, heartfelt words that could change everything. The drama begins with Kristen DiMera stuck in an impossible situation. EJ was shot, and Kristen, always one to manipulate a crisis, seriously considered shifting the blame onto someone else to protect herself. Ava Vitale was the obvious candidate, but Kristen knew Ava would never stay quiet and would expose the lie. With no one else to frame, Kristen made the calculated decision to confess and take the blame herself. EJ, fearful of the trial's unpredictability, pressured her further, leaving Kristen cornered. As a result, she ended up in a position where her only option was to sacrifice her own freedom. This confession shocked Rachel. Kristen had sworn to her daughter that she wasn't responsible for shooting EJ, so when Kristen suddenly flipped her story and declared guilt, Rachel's confusion and heartbreak only grew deeper. Rachel has always known her mother inside and out. She can read Kristen better than almost anyone. So, even though the courtroom drama painted Kristen as the shooter, Rachel sensed something wasn't right. For Rachel, the idea of losing Kristen to prison again is unbearable. She has already lived through years of separation from her mother because of Statesville sentences, and she despises the thought of reliving that nightmare. This pain is what starts to unlock the truth. Marlena Evans has long believed Rachel is suffering from dissociative amnesia. Her mind blocked out the traumatic memory of pulling the trigger because it was simply too overwhelming for her young psyche to handle. But with Kristen facing more prison time, that wall in Rachel's memory begins to crumble. The looming loss of her mother triggers flashbacks and fragments of that fateful night. Slowly, Rachel pieces together what really happened. She remembers holding the gun, remembers her panic, and finally realizes the unthinkable: she was the one who shot EJ. The realization is overwhelming, but it also pushes her into action, because if she stays silent, her mother will pay for something she didn't do. Rachel's breaking point will come when she can no longer watch Kristen being dragged away for a crime she didn't commit. In a desperate, emotional moment, Rachel will finally speak the truth. Those 6 words, "I shot EJ, not my mom," will cut through the courtroom drama, the lies, and the legal maneuvers. They will free Kristen from the weight of her false confession and shift all eyes onto Rachel. The aftermath of this reveal will be explosive. Kristen will be torn between relief that Rachel told the truth and anguish that her daughter now has to face the burden of being the real shooter. EJ will be forced to confront the reality of what happened and how much Rachel's trauma has shaped her. Marlena, who suspected this all along, will step in to support her granddaughter, likely arguing that Rachel's actions were unintentional and driven by fear rather than malice. What makes this twist so powerful is the emotional cost. Kristen's sacrifice was meant to protect her daughter, but in the end, it's Rachel's own courage, and those 6 heartfelt words, that rescue Kristen from a life behind bars. The courtroom will be shaken, Salem will buzz with the shocking revelation, and the DiMera family will once again be pulled into chaos. But at the heart of it, this story becomes about the unbreakable bond between a mother and daughter and the painful truths that finally come to light.